My name is Heavenly Joy, and you're in the sacred space of Truly Heavenly Joy. And I have one of my favorite people here with me today. Would you like to introduce yourself?
My name is Hakeem, and I am...
My son.
Yeah.
Simple. He's also one of the most influential spiritual teachers that I have on this planet at this time. So what I wanted to just share with you as he just holds space with me for a bit is I wanted to talk about the process of becoming. So you hear me talk about that a lot. And one of the things that I find is that perhaps I need to break it down as things are happening. So if you remember, for those of you who have been with me through this practice for quite some time, I had mentioned I was having a really challenging process with anxiety. And it was so different than anything that I had experienced in quite a long time. It was just coming on. There wasn't any real reason, so I tried to think like maybe it was coffee or maybe it was stress. You know, it could have been my diet. So I started to change and shift all these different things. I am still currently drinking coffee. I did fall back into my yoga practice, my meditation practice. So I have my spiritual practices back on in a very, what can I say, disciplined? Would you say it's very disciplined?
Yeah.
So I do it every day. And since then, it's gotten better. Now, the other part of this is that the part of becoming and its discomfort sometimes shows up as these fluctuations in the body. And after all of these days that have gone by, sitting and journaling, and I've been doing some work, I'm coming up with a workshop that I'm going to carry you through. So all of those who are really interested in getting to know the self and meet the divine within, I am intending to offer this to you all, and we'll talk a little bit about that later. But the process of becoming is also difficult in a sense that we have symptoms of what they call ascension symptoms. Bye, Hakeem.
Bye.
So we have these symptoms of ascension, and what they are basically what I've experienced. I've experienced headache, loss of appetite, nausea, and like for no specific reason. I lost a lot of weight. Prior to my diet like shifting and just not really wanting to eat, especially like what I want is like grapes or just something wet, you know, like some sort of fruit. Salads, I was kind of craving salads for a little bit, but like really grapes is like, oh, I've got to have some grapes, you know. So so paying attention to all that. So I wanted to kind of share something that I found online. Now I've been although I've been on this journey for some time, it doesn't mean that I'm always able to convey all of the experience at once, because the experience is constantly happening. You know, I'm constantly becoming. So although I couldn't explain it once before, now I'm able to. And now that I'm actually dealing with what is happening, which I'll talk about that later in a few minutes, I am actually getting relief from the migraines just naturally. So the process of becoming is also this expansion that is happening within. You're growing spiritually, emotionally, intellectually, and it's energy. So if we think back to when we were in school, we heard in science class that everything is energy. So if everything is energy, it doesn't die, and energy expands, and energy grows, and energy shifts, right? And sound affects energy. So like right now, currently, I've been listening to a lot of spiritual chanting, mantra music, Ram, I could be saying it wrong, but I am listening to a lot of music that is supportive as far as like when you're on your practice, when you're in that space. And so I want to also share that with you. Classical music is amazing. It's going to help you to speed the process. My dog is here, so you see his tail. Speed the process a little bit more so that we can kind of get out of this discomfort space. But also, this is the reason why I say lean into the discomfort. Ask the questions. Why is it coming up? What is happening? All of that, right? So these are some of the things that you may be experiencing as well, because we are in a global shift. There are those who have come before me, and there are those who have come before them, and the process continues to go. So we have like these waves of like healers awakening, teachers awakening, storytellers awakening, you know. So those who are helping with the process, we just come in waves, you know. So right now, if you're feeling this intense, it's, you know, ride this wave, right? So I got this from, it is an article online. I Googled it. It's ascensionsymptoms.com. So this is not my information. Please, by all means, know that where I get my sources from, I want to share them with you, because I think that there are so many teachers who have put in a lot of practice, and they've been very vulnerable to go out of their way to make this information available to us. I will always say, though, that you can become over-consumed with information. So just be mindful. Like, if you have a source, like, stick with that source. So I do like ascensionsymptoms.com was something that was, it hit on everything that I had been experiencing, so I wanted to share. So there is a lot that is going on inside of you. This is what it says. And it says that the ascension process, the process that I consider becoming, may be periods where the energy and symptoms become much more intense for several days. It can be weeks, it can be months, and then suddenly it can either cease, or they can get, you know, they can either decrease or increase. It kind of just depends on where you are on your journey, on your path. There's always these different fluctuations. There was a time where it hit really heavy for me when my son was born. Well, when I was pregnant with him and when he was born. But the Hakeem who just walked out the room, he is like my child that really brought me to my calling. Like, okay, you got to do this. So having him, giving birth to him, is really what helped me to begin to really awaken. So he's 9, which will show you like that 9 is a number of completion. So I've hit a level, and now I got to hit another level, right? So this is the reason why I'm experiencing what I'm experiencing right now. So symptoms, because I want to get to that, is that you may feel that you're having issues with your digestion, which some of us already have it, but some of us don't. Like, if you're normal, you're used to going to the bathroom, all of a sudden you can't flush your body, you know, appropriately, then that's something to look at. Or maybe you are having too much, that you're like cleansing, you're purging a lot. You could start to have allergies, really bad allergies. You could feel like your body temperature like just fluctuates out of nowhere. So with me, when I meditate, every time I meditate, as I get really cold, like shivery cold, so I have to keep a blanket near me, or my robe or something, and like wrap myself up, because I'll get really hot for a minute, hot. And then as I'm getting like halfway through my meditation, I get like shivery cold. But it's all energy that's moving. And so I'm sharing it with you so that you know, like, as you're going through this process, like, yep, you're right on track. If you're feeling all of this, you're exactly where you need to be. The other thing is, I talked about migraines, headaches, for feeling like you're crying for no reason. Like, I've been laying down and like tears would just begin to stream down my face. Like, there's no real reason for me to cry. However, I've noticed, because I'm just a little bit more in tune with that, like, there's something that's happening. There's something that's coming up. There's something that's healing. There's something that's shifting in me. Something is happening, and I'm really, really grateful. So I get excited, but all at the same time, I feel everything, you know, so that can make me kind of, you know, weird and complicated sometimes to deal with. But if you know that I'm on the spiritual path and you're dealing with me, then you also understand, like, if I get really quiet and I just kind of like go in a little bit more, which is something that I encourage, is that have people to talk to. And this is the reason why I've created this sacred space here, so that we can share, and that you don't have to feel alone, but you also want to take the time to sit with yourself and be quiet, and not get all everybody's ideas and their identifications of what it is that you're going through. You really just want to sit with that and do the work around that to gain the wisdom, because everything you need is inside of you, and this is why all of this is happening, so it can come to the surface, so you can get back to realizing your purpose, getting on your path. It doesn't mean you won't sway from it, but just getting you back on that right track, right? The other thing is a sensitivity to maybe sound or light, energy within a space. Perhaps there were people who you used to be around, and they could be just a reflection of the old you, maybe, and their energy just kind of makes you feel kind of uncomfortable around them now. So it just may mean that you're a little bit sensitive to their vibration, and perhaps, again, like pulling yourself away from that, maybe going to put yourself around people who are also on the same journey, or again, sitting with yourself. Try not to be alone too much. All at the same time, make time to be alone too, because I don't want you to ever feel like you're alone, because that's one of the things that I experienced. And then the whole time that I was in St. Croix expanding and growing, healing, my sisters were doing the same thing in the States, so it's interesting. But because I was so far and so disconnected, I felt so alone. Had I really been and stayed in tune and in touch with my family, I would have known that they were going through their healing in their own way. It looks completely different in mine, but they were growing too. And so, you do want to have a sense of community and just knowing that you're not alone on the journey. The other thing is that you'll have a knowing, like an intense knowing, something is happening. You may not be able to like communicate it, verbalize it, but you'll know intrinsically that something is shifting. And that knowing alone is everything. So lean into your truth, lean into the fact that you do know something is happening. And just if, for example, for me, all of this was happening and there was a book that was just in the middle of my floor, off my bookcase, random book, the spiritual book that I've had for a few years now. I think I want to say like 2 years, maybe a year and a half. And I walked in a room, it was there. And I remember saying to Spirit, like, I just can't right now. Like, I don't even know what to do with that. And I kid you not, by the end of that night, my headaches were so intense and I was nauseated. I still didn't know it had anything to do with the book. I just picked the book up and sat it by the altar and left it there. By 3 nights ago, my brother approached me. He has some medicine, and I partook with this natural herbal medicine. I took it into my body. I was able to then gain a clarity around what was happening. I started to write and do some of the healing work that I do, and I went to sleep. I mean, the experience itself was amazing, like just writing and getting it all out. Went to sleep. I woke up the next day. I only had a little bit of headache, like just right here. That's it. So I wanted to encourage you that when this is happening, it's coming up, is because there's something that you need to get. So we got to kind of figure out how to lean into that. So I have some things that I'm preparing for you out of this experience of my real, growth experience. I've gained some wisdom around something that I want to teach and that I want to share. And now I'm just really documenting how I'm going to do it. So we do have a class coming up. Once I get super, super clear on that, because I'm still going through the process, but I wanted to share that with you. But once I get super clear, I'll share it with you and all of those who want to join me, so that you too can decipher your experience and really commune with the divine. I am here to help you do that. And so that was the number one thing was today, was to talk about the ascension. Also, something that I want to encourage you is that if you have a journal next to your bed, or if you don't have a journal next to your bed, please keep one with you. If you carry around a bag, or for guys, you have like, your back pocket, you have these small like ring journals, little notepads or whatever. Keep them with you, because you're going to have, we're going to call it inspired action. Inspired thoughts are going to come, and you're going to just know like that was something important. You want to be able to jot these things down as they're coming to you throughout the day. And definitely your dreams at night. Remember them. Remember the colors and shapes, and whether they're animals, up, down, is it clear water, dark water, closet open, not open, like everything is starting to come together. So please, by all means, like, jot down all these things. If it doesn't make sense now, don't worry about it. You are on the right path. If you feel confused, great, because you're on the right path, and it will begin to make sense with time. So be patient with yourself. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy this experience. It is amazing. And every time that I think like, oh man, I've gotten so far, there's another level and layer behind that. And it's just absolutely amazing to be able to experience it, to be able to share in community. I've been able to talk to my sisters about it, and that's been amazing. And even my man, he's amazing, like his experience with it, him sharing with me the synchronicities of his day, and just this global awakening and healing is just so amazing. So just keep at it. I wanted to encourage you in that. And what else did I want to say? Remember that this process is individualized. Do not compare yours with anybody's. Not mine, not your mom's, not your cousin, not somebody on television. It's an individualized process because you have a gift that is divine, and you are the only person that can deliver this to the world. And so the things that you go through, good, bad, or indifferent, are all things preparing you to show up in a grand way. I promise you that. Trust me when I say that. And I just want to close by saying that you are amazing. You are magnificent. You are love, and you are loved. And as I tell my man, and I love you. And I want you to hold on to that. Hold on to that truth. We are love. And listen, one last thing I have to say. This is something that is absolutely near and dear to my heart. There is only one race, guys. It is the human race. We are all out of Africa. We are all people born of one person, one being, we are all human. And I just want that to be something that you hold on to and remember, is that we are all from the same human family, okay? And don't let these people out here, these distractions, keep you from knowing that. Heart to heart, okay? So I have to go. I'm being called. I'm a mom still. So I'm sending you love, peace, and blessings. Stay on your journey. And remember that the light in you, I honor that light in you, and the light that's in you is in me. And may we continue to live our truth. All right? Amen. Amen. Ashe Salam. Om Shanti Shanti Om. May the divine continue to guide us, guys. Peace.